throws a week-old halo on every mile I pass. I keep saying I'll replace it when money loosens up. The truth is I like the way it shakes, like an old dog out of luck. Sing, dying headlights, sing. Show me the ditch, the rain, the sin, the county line. Sing, dying headlights, sing. You've seen me lie, you've seen me run, you've seen me call it fine. Sing for the women, sing for the dead, sing for the names I drank away. Sing, dying headlights, sing till morning burns you pale and gray. I rode through Oklahoma black, with bugs exploding gold, and every little town I passed looked poorer than I'd been told. One porch light left, one dog barked twice, one train moaned far and thin. And all the while that weak beam shook, like it knew what sat within. No saint rides shotgun, no angel leans in chrome. Just one bad bulb and a man too proud to call any place his home. At dawn I pulled beside a levee, killed the motor, heard it ping. A man can trust a failing light more than most everything. Sing, dying headlights, sing. You never once pretended to be whole. Dying headlights, sing. That's more than I can say about my soul. Sing through the weather, sing through the lies, sing till the dark gives way. Sing, dying headlights, sing and carry me one more day. I saw his truck outside Amarillo, low beams dirty in the rain. Same hood dent, same smoking grill, same old ghost with a name. Kane was 20 years behind me, and one bad room ahead. The kind of man sells your breath, then drinks above your dead. I did not speed, I did not pray. He stayed there just far enough to turn the highway wrong. I took the frontage road by Phillips. He took it to no lights. I cut through cattle gate country. He rode my weather tight. At last I stopped beneath a grain bin, killed the bike and stood. He rode on past without one glance, like not killing me felt good. That hurt worse than if he'd swung. Some wars get old, but never done. I lit a smoke with shaking hands and watched his tail lights fade. A man can outgrow fists and knives, not the shape old hatred made. He stayed there just far enough to turn the highway wrong. Some enemies don't need your blood, they just need to live this long. There's a diner off exit 9, open all through the night, where truckers eat in silence under fever yellow light. She worked the graveyard counter with a scar below one eye, poured coffee black as river mud and never asked me why. Magdalene. She said, "You look like bad weather." I said, "Ma'am, I've heard worse." She lit my smoke with a matchbook hand, like a blessing or a curse. Her name tag read Marlene, maybe, or maybe I read it wrong. Some women blur around the edges, like the line between hurt and song. Magdalene, you pour the coffee like absolution. Magdalene, you wear fatigue like fine perfume. Magdalene, you look at men the way doctors do. Not shocked, not fooled, just measuring what they'll live through. She sat across from me on a 10-minute break. Said, "I had a boy who rode like you. That's the first mistake." And smiled so tired, the room went thin and the rain began outside. A man can feel the whole world ache in one woman's crooked smile. Plates clinked soft the fryer hissed, and every road I'd ever took felt like something I had missed. Magdalene, you pour the coffee like absolution. Magdalene, you keep the dead alive in your face. Magdalene, I left before the daylight found me. Some women hold a room together, some hold a man in place. She stood beneath a fox in glass, and a hawk with yellow eyes, wore a father's canvas apron like mourning in disguise. Rain tapped soft on the storefront pane, Main Street dead by 6. She said, you need a dry place, rider. I said, most nights I need more than this. There was glue in the air, and something worse than that. She had a voice like a locked room opening, a mouth like a wound that had learned to sing, hands that could stitch a shape back perfect, and eyes that knew too much of everything. I should have left when the thunder rolled in. I should have took my whiskey and gone. But some women don't ask for permission, they just make the dark feel like home. Mason jar marked peach and smoked without a blink. Asked me if I'd ever killed a man the way most people ask what you drink. I told her only halfway maybe. She smiled and cleaned the blade. Said that's the way the world goes bad. Nobody finishes what they made. The cougar in the corner looked ready still to spring, and every stuffed and staring thing felt more alive than me. At dawn I found my gloves on the chair, my knife under the sink. My bike still wet, my chest gone wrong, like she'd reached in while I drank. I looked back once through the shop front glass, saw only dust and flies. No woman there, just dead things posed in my own face, in their eyes. She had a voice like a locked room opening, a mouth like a wound that had learned to sing, hands that could stitch a shape back perfect and leave the soul split underneath. Some women leave perfume on you, some leave blood, some leave both, and some leave nothing but a hunger you keep feeding to stay afloat. the turns. My right hand shakes when the clutch gets burned. Got a bad tattoo and a worse divorce, and a bar tab headed for a legal course. I ain't 25, I ain't bulletproof, but I still got bite in this old bad tooth. I'm hell-bent with a sore back, mean enough to grin. Too old to start trouble, too dumb not to step in. I'm half past forgiven, 3 miles from grace. Hell-bent with a sore back and a windburned face. Young boys talk with the chest pushed out, like volumes what a fight's about. I let them bark, I let them shine, then I finish my drink and take my time. A quiet man with a busted hand, can still explain where the floorboards stand. I'm hell-bent with a sore back, mean enough to grin. Too old to start trouble, too dumb not to step in. I'm half past forgiven, 3 miles from grace. Hell-bent with a sore back and a windburned face. I got friends in the ground, friends in county jail, friends who found Jesus, friends who made bail. I got pills for the morning, whiskey for the night, and a motorcycle mirror that still lies right. So don't call me legend, don't call me king. I'm a tired old dog with a chain link swing. But if one of mine gets pushed too far, I'll limp through hell and raise the bar. I'm hell-bent with a sore back, mean enough to grin. Too old to start trouble, too dumb not to step in. I'm half past forgiven, 3 miles from grace. Hell-bent with a sore back and a windburned face. My engine knocks, my bones do too, but I ain't done yet, and neither are you. I rode the low road home with your ashes in a coffee can, tied down in a saddlebag with an old black leather strap. The sky was flat and gray, the fields were dead and wide. I kept one hand on the throttle and one thought locked inside. I ain't ready to let you go, but the road don't ask a man. Your woman called at sunrise, said bring him back to me. Her voice was hard as fence wire, trying not to break clean. I told her I was coming, I didn't tell her how. There are things you carry quiet when the engine's too damn loud. I ain't ready to let you go, but the road don't ask a man. beside us through the dust and cold rain. You said you wanted no preacher, no polished wooden box, just a place beside the river where the old bridge rocks. I ain't ready to let you go, but the road don't ask a man. At a station near the county line, I sat down on the curb, bought 2 cups of black coffee, then remembered yours would burn. I said your name once, low enough to hide. Some grief comes out crooked, some grief stays inside. By dusk I reached the river where the cottonwoods leaned down. Your woman stood there waiting in her faded wedding gown. She didn't cry when she saw me, didn't reach for my hand, just touched that coffee can like it was still a man. I ain't ready to let you go, but the road don't ask a man. I ain't ready to let you go, but the road don't ask a man. There's a black dog by the mile sign every night at 3:15. He don't bark and he don't follow, he just stands there watching me. I first saw him after Reno when the winter moon was thin. Same night we left a man alive who should have never breathed again. The black dog waits, the black dog knows where the blood went down, where the wild grass grows. I told myself it was weather, told myself it was gin, told myself a lot of things that never settled in. Now I see him past the headlights in the corner of my sleep, with his eyes like burned out matches and his paws sunken deep. The black dog waits, the black dog knows where the blood went down, where the wild grass grows. A preacher said confession is a door a man can use But some doors open backward and some doors don't open true. I tried to speak it once in a motel near Saline, but the words came out like gravel and the sink turned red and mean. Last night I stopped beside him, killed the engine, killed the light. He walked close enough to touch me, then vanished in the white. I sat there till the morning with my hands upon my knees, and heard that dead man breathing in the cottonwood trees. The black dog waits, the black dog knows where the blood went down, where the wild grass grows. The black dog waits, no mercy, no stone. Some roads don't end, they just follow you home. Back in at dusk, county sign shot through with rust, a church been white, a mill gone blind, and the same old courthouse dust. The station where he bought his smokes is boarded up with pine, but that red clay lot behind the feed store still look like yours and mine. This county's cold, they put him in a rented suit, hands folded like a lie. He never prayed a day I saw, but sure looked church enough to die. My sister cried into her sleeve, my brother stared through glass, and I stood there with my jaw set hard, like I still was made of brass. No last words, no clean release, just a dead man in a borrowed tie, and an old hurt missing teeth. After I rode past the gravel pit where he blooded me at 15 for dropping a wrench, for talking back, for being too much seen. This county's cold, colder than the room he laid in, colder than the dirt they gave him, colder than the blood I came with.
Motel Bible, loaded gun, channel 3 with no sound on. Ice machine kicking down the hall, rain like fingers on the wall. I got $47 and a number I can't call. I got one good chance left, and it ain't good at all. Don't knock unless you mean it. Don't pray unless it's true. Some nights come collecting what the daylight left for you. The man downstairs wears a straw hat, but it ain't summer here. He's been smoking by the payphone for the better part of a year. Or maybe just since Tuesday, time gets loose. When you run, every mirror looks like a witness, every shadow looks like one. Don't knock unless you mean it. Don't pray unless it's true. Some nights come collecting what the daylight left for you. I wasn't always hunted, I wasn't always mean. Once I had a kitchen table and a woman who believed. Then a job went bad in Houston, then a favor turned to debt. Then I learned a man can drown before he ever gets wet. At 4 a.m. the hallway creaked, my hand went to the drawer. Somebody slipped an envelope beneath the peeling door. Inside there was a photograph of me at 22. On the back one line in pencil, we remember what you do. Don't knock unless you mean it. Don't pray unless it's true. Some nights come collecting what the daylight left for you. Don't beg unless you're ready to hear the answer come. Motel Bible on the table, loaded gun. Morning found the room still locked, rain gone off the glass. A man can leave a motel and still not leave his past. men in a casket under low gray sky. Nobody wore a clean suit, nobody asked why. His old lady held a cigarette, but never struck a flame. She stared down at the pine box like it owed her a name. We don't cry loud, we don't speak soft. We just stand in the dirt and count what the road cost. Temper like a bad fuse, hands like engine parts. He could fix a broken carburetor, but never fixed a heart. He did time in Laredo, did worse things outside. But when my boy got sick, he rode all night. We don't cry loud, we don't speak soft. We just stand in the dirt and count what the road cost. Called him trouble, the law called him worse. His daughter laid a wrench down instead of a verse, and that said more than heaven, more than judgment day. Some men ain't forgiven, but they're missed anyway. We fired up at sundown, one by one in line, a sound like old thunder rolling out of time. I looked around at faces carved from smoking years. Every man was silent, every man was near. We don't cry loud, we don't speak soft. We just stand in the dirt and count what the road cost. We don't ask mercy, we don't ask why. We just ride from the graveyard with the dead in the sky. 12 men in a casket, then 11 rolled away. By dark nobody talked, by morning nobody stayed. The town was closed by 9 o'clock, one red light swinging in the rain. The diner had a busted sign and coffee that still tasted the same. I parked beside the laundromat to count our cash before the county knew our names, before the whole thing turned to ash. I didn't come for mercy, I didn't come to pray. I came to face the silence I left here yesterday. The hardware store, he saw me through the glass. He didn't wave, he didn't spit, just let one cold look pass. I heard you've got a little girl who's old enough to ask why some men leave in winter and some don't make it back. I didn't come for mercy, I didn't come to pray. I came to face the silence I left here yesterday. That's where you took the rap. I've carried it in motel rooms, in bars and county lines. A man can lose his freedom and still be doing time. I left a letter on your porch with nothing but the truth. No begging and no Bible talk, no dressed up cheap excuse. Then I rode out before sunrise with frost across the sea. Some roads don't lead to pardon, they just put blood on your feet. I didn't come for mercy, I didn't come to pray. I came to face the silence I left here yesterday. I didn't come back clean, I didn't come back brave. I came to tell the truth and ride away the same. Dead town mercy ain't mercy at all, just a light left burning. Lights far behind, a bag of cash beneath my coat, and blood I couldn't hide. Ray was breathing heavy, Tommy wouldn't speak. The desert opened wide like a mouth with broken teeth. Keep driving, don't look
they didn't plan on killing. That's what guilty men all say. But a scared hand on a trigger makes forever out of a day. Tommy had a new child. Ray had debts in town. I had nothing waiting, so I never slowed us down. Keep driving, don't look back. The night knows names, the road keeps track. At a station near the border, Ray washed up in the sink. Tommy bought a postcard, then forgot what he should think. I watched two moths dying inside the buzzing light. Even little things get ruined when they fly too close at night. By dawn we hit the canyon, and the radio went dead. Tommy said he heard sirens, but they were in his head. Ray took half the money and walked into the sand. I never saw him after, never tried to understand. Keep driving, don't look back. The night knows names, the road keeps track. Keep driving, don't unpack. A man can run forever and still owe what he lacks.
Hard light in Oklahoma, on a windshield cracked in two. I had 3 shirts and a duffel bag, and nothing left to prove. She took the house in Tulsa, I took the tools and blame. We split the dogs on Sunday, like people split a name. I keep blaming the highway for what I do to myself. I keep calling it freedom when it looks like something else. I drank warm beer in parking lots behind old rodeo signs, slept in rooms with chain locks and pictures nailed offline. I called her once from Ardmore, hung up when she said hello. A man can miss a woman and still know he should go. I keep blaming the highway for what I do to myself. I keep calling it freedom when it looks like something else. Something else. Beside you, quiet till you can't lie anymore. I wasn't born a bad man, I wasn't born unkind, but I learned how to leave and called it peace of mind. There's a church by the interstate with weeds around the stone. I pulled in for no reason and sat there all alone. Didn't ask the Lord for nothing, didn't curse his name, just listened to the insects and felt my anger drain. I keep blaming the highway for what I do to myself. I keep calling it freedom when it looks like something else. I keep blaming the highway, but the highway don't care. It just runs through the country and leaves a man there. Hard light in Oklahoma, morning coming clean. I turn the key slow and let the silence breathe.